I want to show you this door that I did at least 15 years ago, probably more like 17 or 18 years ago. I did it with Dex Ollier, a Norwegian boat finish, and it hadn't been touched since. This wood is in fine shape. There's no chalkiness to the wood. There isn't a layer of urethane peeling off or anything like that. There's no real discoloration other than a little darkening. Actually, when you get from a distance, it looks great. It's just when you get up close, you realize, I could use a little something. So I'm going to take off all the brass, take off all the hardware, and then lightly sand it. Tomorrow I'll come back and I'll do the Dex Ollier process, which is quite a process. You keep recoating and recoating and recoating, and the material soaks in to the wood. Okay, here we are after about 5 hours of intense sanding, mostly hand sanding. They used the power sander on the threshold. It's mostly hand sanding, you know, with your hand and a piece of sandpaper. It lightened up quite a bit. You see, it's a lot lighter than it was yesterday. Where the hardware is missing, you can see the original color of the door was a lot lighter yet. That's UV, the effects of UV on wood. This is poplar wood that this is made out of, and it's not one of those woods that you think of that for holding up in exterior exposure, but again, the Dex Ollier boat finish is responsible for that. I first used the Dex Ollier in the restoration of the Indiana State Capitol building back in 1987 and 88. I worked on it for about 2 hours, spreading the Dex Ollier on. You just coat and recoat and recoat. It's keep wetting it and keep wetting it. I was using a brush and a 6-inch roller. You just keep applying it, keeping it wet. And you'll notice some parts it soaks right in and they dull up real quick. Especially like around you know, your end grains on your panels. You know, it was real intense for better than an hour. I'd say closer to an hour, 15 minutes, hour and a half, and then it kind of slowed down, and I began to be able to pick the places, you know, like the end grains and just little places on each individual piece of wood where it had soaked in and needed to be touched up. And now it takes about 3 days to dry. Yeah, 3 days. Completely dry. And it'll look about like this when it's dry. It will not gloss. It doesn't form a finish on the surface of the wood. It soaks down into the wood itself.